I just got off a call with somebody who felt he's a victim of office politics. The word politics is normally used in negative references. Politics in office is the fact of life. In this video, I'm going to be telling you how to look at politics, because only then can you work towards making it better in your company. So if you're an employee or an employer, this video is for you if you want to be a pro at politics. Keep watching. Welcome back, champions. My name is Hardik and I run a management consulting company for more than 10 years. We follow a method called Propel, which is designed by me and is endorsed by more than 50 publications. If you feel and you understand that a problem is created with a mind, the same mind cannot solve that problem. And if you feel that you need professional assistance, therefore, to chalk out and execute the growth of your company, to design processes and systems so that you don't end up spending all your time managing daily transactions. If you want to know how to employ good people management practices so that your organization scales to the next level, then all you need to do is go onto my website, scroll down and click on the relevant area you need help on, answer a few very basic questions, and there you will be able to book a free one-on-one consultation call with me to figure out how we could be of help to you. Now, to understand politics, we cannot start by looking at the term politics. We got to start from somewhere else. So an organization is a group of people coming together to achieve a common goal or a common purpose. We all know this. But what we are not very conscious about is, why do they come together to achieve a common purpose or a common goal? Well, the answer to that is because they feel by being a part of that group, they will be able to achieve their personal goals. Personal goals come out of personality. The way one goes and approaches the personal goal also comes out of personality. Personality is made up of experiences the person has had, and therefore the way he defines good and bad. Let me explain this to you with an example. If there is somebody whose personal goal is to get promoted, he has to make sure that he is in good books of the person in power. If you're a small organization, that's you, an entrepreneur. Now, if he feels based on his experience that being commanding is a sign of good leadership, you will see him commanding everybody around because he wants you to know that he has the skill, which is commanding, to be a good leader. On the other end of the spectrum, you may have somebody who feels supporting people is mandatory skill required to become a good leader, and he wants to get promoted as well. So whenever you are around, he will start supporting people to an extent where he will start picking up their jobs and doing it, because he feels that by doing that, he can get into your good books for you to promote him. Now, this entire element of strategically placing oneself for the benefit of one's personal goal, that, my friend, is called politics. Politics, therefore, is not a bad term. Obviously, the way one uses it can be bad and good. So if one uses an approach of supporting, but that is bad for a particular organization, then that is bad use of politics. If the person strategically places itself while keeping in mind the way the organization's culture is, then that's good politics, and one should always encourage that. So now coming to how you should deal with it. First, for all you entrepreneurs, you must know that because you are an entrepreneur, you are the power person. You are somebody everybody is trying to impress by doing what they feel is right. Therefore, you have a responsibility. The responsibility is to articulate, to communicate, and to actually live the culture that you want your organization to have. By culture, what I mean here is your ways of good and bad in the context of your organization has to be very critically defined and lived. So the first thing that you should do is always rely on data and not on stories. See, with data will tell you facts. Facts about what has happened, what has not happened, what the outcomes are, what the outcomes are not, what the challenges are, and what are not the challenges. If you don't ask for data, people are going to give you stories. And stories only means a person has a liberty to twist and turn the way it wants because there is no reference point you could check on. So if you ask stories, you are going to get stories. But if you ask data, you will encourage the atmosphere, the culture of your company to become a fact-based culture, thereby using politics in the right way. Second, messaging. Messaging are of two types, verbal and non-verbal. We all know what verbal messaging means. If you ask for data, then everybody knows that getting data to you is the right thing to do if one wants to get promoted or wants to get into your good books. But what is non-verbal? Well, non-verbal is things that you should do, but you don't do it. A lot of times we have this one player that we absolutely depend on, and we kind of give him discounts for wrongdoings because we feel that if he goes away from the company, everything would cripple down. Well, that is a non-verbal message to the rest of the gang in your company to know that if you do and become the spine of the company, if the company has dependency on you, then the company will give you leverages. And that is exactly what you must not do. So if you're dependent today on any one person, you must create processes so that processes is what you be dependent on and not one person. And that will help you not give wrong, incorrect, non-verbal messages that can open up the ground for wrong politics. Third, do what you expect. Now, it's not only about performing. There is also method that you use for performing, right? A lot of people would stay for long hours simply to show that they are performing. Now, if you go with data, you will be able to take care of that. But in spite of that, the second barometer would still remain: how many hours did one work? How much of pressure did one take? Well, all of this needs to be taken care of. And this you do by doing what you expect people to do. Remember, all of us actually are monkeys, and we are intelligent monkeys. What do monkeys do? Well, they copy. And because we are intelligent monkeys, we copy the person in power, the person who matters, the person we look up to. And in this case, an entrepreneur is the person everybody wants to impress. They are looking up to you. So if you come late to the office and stay back late in the office, your people are going to copy paste that because they get a non-verbal message that staying up late is good in the eyes of the management. So if you do what is expected out of your employees yourself, then the employees start copy pasting that, which means that everybody has the same correct definition of how to get you impressed, and that means you're employing politics in a good way. Now coming to my employee friends. Well, what should you do to make sure that you don't get captured in the bad political scenario? Well, three things for you. First, clarify goals and approach. It's extremely important that you as an employee, if wants to grow in the company or get into the good books for your increments or promotion, whatever that is, you got to add value. For that, you should know what is value. And this has to be calibrated with your manager or anybody that you're reporting to. You got to ask him that this is my goal. This is how I understand my goal. Is this value enough? And if that is not, then get a clarity on it. Also tell the person, this is how I plan to reach my goal. You may sit with that person and construct that plan, the roadmap to reach your goal. Because once you are calibrated on what needs to be achieved and how it needs to be achieved with your supervisor or immediate manager, you cannot get into the trap of politics because it's calibrated. Second, make your manager win. Now by this, I don't mean that if your manager is doing wrong things, you push him and help him do the wrong things. No, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about if your manager gets promoted, only then would you have a chance to become a manager of that department, isn't it? What is it that can get your manager to get promoted? You've got to understand that and then support your manager, go beyond what is required to be done to make sure that your manager wins. Because remember this, if your manager wins and even if he does not get promoted, you are the person, you are the apple of his eye, and for right reasons, because you supported him by achieving what you should have achieved so that he looks good in the meetings that he enters. Third, while doing all of this, I'm sure there are going to be people who would not like you doing the right things. If you do the right things, you are going to be grown. People are going to talk to you. The people that matter are going to talk to you. And then there are some losers, who would not like that, who would try and pull your leg and try and bring you down. Well, in this scenario or something like that, where people are not supporting you simply because you're trying to do the right thing, you must escalate. You must bring it to the notice of the management. But how? That is important. Never ever escalate it without that person being with you, because that is called backbiting. Escalation has to be done, but the way I propose you do this escalation is talk to that person and tell him, hey, you know what? I don't agree to your ways of doing things, or I don't agree to your decision. And I know that you don't agree to my ways of doing things and my decision and my conclusion. We both are on different platforms. I suggest and recommend, and this is what I plan to do. I plan to go to the management and get a third party opinion. This is the person we should talk to together. Take that person together with you and discuss the problem. Make sure when you discuss the problem and not the person. So my friends, politics can be in a lot of scenarios. I just outlined some basic ones. If you feel there is a specific scenario you are struggling with as an entrepreneur or as an employee, bring it to my notice and I'll be very happy to do a follow-up video on that. I may even call you to discuss that problem in detail. I hope with all of these points you are better equipped to manage politics like a pro to your advantage. If you like this video, which I'm sure you did, because you would not have been on this video for such a long time if you did not like it. So don't go away, hit the thumbs up. Share this video with your friends, colleagues and anybody that you feel requires this and should be able to benefit out of this positively. If you've not subscribed to this channel, my lovely friends, hit that red button, break it into two, and you will get all information about how to become a professional entrepreneur who's scaling the business in the right way all the time. Until we meet next time, keep learning, keep implementing, do good politics, encourage good politics, and all you lovely folks, keep propelling.